Hi, I'm Carcino.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it.
You go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them.
I was glad for one reason here because I wanted all y'all to see this. Stephon Marbury and Kevin Garnett, like KG, this is one of the first guys he really locked in with. Like he was, man, we could do this. Like Kevin Garnett wanted to win. And he wanted to win badly. You know, he was like, I want to turn this around. I don't want the Timberwolves to just be a joke that win 20 games a season. You know, we got to celebrate a big win we got on a team that's going to a playoff. We want Minnesota to mean something. So KG go out and hoop and ball with everybody else. And Stephon, they get Stephon Marbury, and he was the happiest he could ever be. He talked about winning championship. So I was glad Stephon Marbury brought this up because KG was mad at him for years, man. For years he was upset, but he was mostly hurt than anything about him leaving. And when Steph came up there to talk about it, I wanted y'all to actually hear the reasons. It wasn't a beef with Kevin Garnett. It had nothing to do with basketball, and that's legit. This is just some Stephon Marbury shit. And you finna hear right now.
Talked about playing with each other. We talked about, us winning championships, playing basketball together and winning championships. And when I went to Minnesota, I was so happy to go there to be playing with him and to be, hooping with somebody who I spoke with, and I said, yo, I want to play with you and build. And then we go to Minnesota. It's great playing. But now I'm 19 years old and I'm living where there's 6% black people, and it snows, it's 10,000 lakes, it's cold, it's like 40 below every day in the wintertime. It's black ice. There's so many different challenges in the life of how you live. And, this is a place where I wasn't familiar with. I wasn't used to it. I grew up in a melting pot in New York, where it's black, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican, all different type of people that I grew up with. And then I leave, I go to school in Atlanta, where it's predominantly black people, when I go to Georgia Tech. And then now I leave school and now I go to Minnesota where, it's predominantly white people. And, during this time, when I get there, it was the summertime because it's after the draft and it was beautiful, it was nice, the weather. But then as things started to change, I was like, man, it's really cold.
It's brick out there. That's where it's different.
I was like, this is serious. I was like, this is not. And I lived in Coney Island near the water.
That's a different type of.
I was like, this is different.
That shit hit different, bro.
So, and it's not changing. This is not changing. This is consistent. This is everyday consistency.
It's not a cold front. It's just cold.
It's what it is.
It's cold as shit.
It's different.
Bro.
So, and now I'm there for my first year. And I'm, it's cool. I'm like, I weather it. I play. We make it to the playoffs. This is the first time in franchise history. They never made it to the playoffs before. My first year, we make it. Okay, we rolling. Me and KG, we balling. Second year come, I have so many incidents. I almost died like 5 or 6 times. Like I'm driving over a bridge. I hit black ice. I spin out. And no cars coming. I'm in the car looking both ways, just praying like, thank you, God, no cars was coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it not only happened one time, it happens another time. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this.
So that wasn't affecting on court?
No, no, this had nothing to do with court.
Yeah.
Nothing. If you look at how we played from when I left, you won't see nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing. So.
It's just the environment.
Yes, it was just, I didn't.
Now, here's the thing. This man is in the National Basketball Association. This is called the league, partner. Nobody get to play where they want to play. Okay? You think everybody would be on the Lakers or the Clippers to be near the beach and warm weather? This is your second year. Like, I'm 19 years old. And here's the crazy part. You from New York. They ain't got black ice in New York. You ain't got snow in New York. You're from Coney Island. So to hear you complaining about how cold it is in the Midwest, it's like, dog, what did you expect? But he's talking about culture shock. I grew up in Coney Island. I ain't never been around nobody but people that look like me. Now I'm in the NBA where you're going to be surrounded by people. If you want to, hang out with KG every day. You know what I'm saying? Do what needs to be done, but dog, you in the NBA. It's not just to cater to you.
I told him, I said, look, this has nothing to do with the team or the people. The fans are dope. Yeah. You look at the games in Minnesota when Edwards, they in the game, they are passionate. Like it's love. Yeah. It's all love. And my love for Minnesota is still the same. It never changed.
That was an exciting ass. You and KG was an exciting.
It was crazy,
duo, man. Like,
you know, and you know what I tried to express and explain was, I was like, look, this has nothing to do with my decision. Because what I did was I went to Glenn Taylor. I went to the owner and I said, Mr. Taylor, I said, look, you guys have been nothing but nice to me. You drafted me. I said, but in the free agent market, when the time comes, I said, it's best for you to try to trade for me, to get something for me, than to let me walk and become a free agent.
You was working with them.
That's how I went to them. Kevin McHale, he didn't like it. He was mad. You know, we was building something. And now I understand and I get it. But at the time, you know, I'm like, there's no way I can be here 2 days later. I'm all of these different things. I cannot be selfish, jealous of Kev. I'm like, what? Are you serious? Yeah. Oh, you can't make the same amount of money? So you mad? I'm like, you guys, I said, there's a ceiling over our head. There's literally a cap. There's no making no more money. There's no more making 200, 300 million. That's over with. That was killed. So with that in mind, if that is killed, and we know that that's killed, you only can offer me what you can offer everybody else. Iverson, you know, all of the people that were up, Kobe, that were signing for max contracts. So we all got the same amount of money. It's all max.
It was already
If I was going to New Jersey or if I was going to Oklahoma, it's the same money. It's no different. So it made no sense. You know what I'm saying? But I understood how people felt, and I was still able to have compassion towards fans feeling a certain way and people feeling a certain way. And as I've gotten older and moved past it, you know, I really get it. I was like, I would be mad too if I see what I'm watching and I'm looking at this in the Midwest. We never won, and now we're winning, and then now all of a sudden this guy's gonna leave because he says it's cold.
And we built it's around you.
They were built.
Exactly. A guy that wants to leave because he says it's cold. So to basically save him and save the organization, it ain't that they don't want to get rid of you. Believe me, they want to get rid of your ass because you said that craziness. They was like, this dude's crazy, but they were building around you. And while they was building around you, all of these things started to come to the light. Now, when we start saying all of these things come to the light, what do we really mean? I'm glad you brought that up. Because now we can get to what we really mean by this whole situation. Now, what we really mean is this. This narrative, by the way, that you have, that's in the way. As a matter of fact, this blind belief that you have, this blind faith, the owners got to make it make sense to the fans as to why you're not there. They know there's no problem. They know you're jealous of Kevin Garnett. They have to create that. Because it sounds crazy when you say you don't want to play because of the weather. You don't like the weather, so trade me. That makes them think you're not mentally well. But they have to explain this to their fans. So their press, Kevin McHale and all those guys in the press, the owners, they are going to turn it on you to make you look like such a problem. They had no choice but to get rid of you. You see, they have to make it look like something or appear to be a problem because you want to leave for no reason.
it around us.
I would have been in a press conference like, yo, my car spun out like 8 times, y'all.
I didn't do that.
I almost died.
I didn't do
Bro was
that. I didn't do that. And I think maybe, I think maybe I should have shared more of my experiences instead of it just being the way I was. And then it was kind of like when it went sideways, it was like, oh, this spun all the way out. There's no explaining. Nobody doesn't want to hear it. It's all good though, because at the end of the day, every experience, I got to really learn something through all of them. And I thank God now, because at 47 years old and experience, I was one of the guys. I went to play in the Midwest, so I got fans in Minnesota. Then I went to play in New Jersey. I got fans in New Jersey. Then I left from New Jersey. I went to the Suns, so I got fans in the West Coast, the Suns. And then I left and went to New York. And then I went and capped it off and went to Boston.
Yo.
Now, yes, but what did you do there? What did you do there? You played for the New Jersey Nets. You had a decent career. Then you go to the Knicks. I mean, when you go to the Suns, then the Knicks, whatever order that he put them in. He did good for the Suns. He played well for the Jersey. But did they win? No. But they traded you back to the New Jersey so you could be close to home. You got what you want. I remember that time. Kevin Garnett was so mad. Kevin Garnett came back to Chicago for an event. They was talking about high school talents, and Kevin Garnett came here, right? And they was having runs up at one of the downtown gyms, right? So while they in there having a run, KG's back home, and they was, man, KG back home, man, he forgot the hood, one of those type things, right? And he was so mad about Stephon Marbury. Like, man, y'all could have won that. He was like, man, don't even get me started. Man, I done talked to that dude so many times trying to get him. He was like, man, I'm homesick. I'm homesick. I'm homesick. Nigga, we all homesick. What is you talking about? You got millions of dollars. What the hell is wrong with you? You want me to fly some girls in, dog? I will fly some girls in every weekend if you need that. We'll turn this thing into the hood. You don't have to leave, dog. No, man, I'm homesick. I miss my aunt, blah, blah, whatever. I miss my man, Antonio. I got, man, Tony, man. Fly, Tony, you a millionaire. You miss Tony and Auntie, blah, blah, blah. Fly them in to live with you. What is you doing? So KG was all in on Stephon Marbury being there. There was no jealousy. There was no beef between the two. The beef started when he wanted to leave and he left. That's where those two probably to this day, probably I think they probably squashed it by now, but Kevin Garnett did not like him once he left. And it was the way he left and how he left. They're winning, and now he got to go back to losing? Yeah, he did not like that at all. Like, dog, we doing something big. We just got to the playoffs for the first time. Like, man, he was really, really excited to play with him. And thought, like, man, this is it. This is what we needed. And you broke the nucleus of the team. And now you're talking about looking back on it. Yeah, man, it sounds crazy. Now I know what people say. You didn't know then? But then again, you know, he said he was 19, and this is just a 19-year-old kid's way of thinking. But as we know how his career went, it was psychological. He has a lot of psychological issues that was going on with him. He couldn't deal with Larry Brown and the way he didn't know how to handle it, and it hampered him there. He went to Boston, and he just couldn't deal with the moment. of being the guy with the expectations. Playing for the New Jersey Nets and playing for the Knicks are two different worlds. And they found that out. He just wasn't playing well. And when Isaiah Lloyd Thomas III, who's your general manager, comes on the court and bust y'all ass in practice and show you what you could be doing out there on the floor and running the same sets that he's telling you works, and you talking about it don't work in today's game, and he went out there and showed you it works no matter what. And he was just like, no, I'm just showing y'all, if I was out there, this is how I would do it. This is how I would take advantage of the defense. And they was like, dude, you can still play. What is you doing? They had no idea Zeke was that nice. And he was giving it to Marbury just to prove a point to him. Don't look and just make an observation and say stuff. Know what you're talking about. And he's showing you, you're making excuses for you not being able to achieve. If you fail, it's because you didn't do it. You messed up. You have to take accountability. And he never could do that. He never could understand his side of taking accountability for the things he was doing. So Stephon Marbury had to go. So it ain't just Larry Brown. There was a lot of Stephon Marbury. So he went to Phoenix, had another good career in Phoenix. Again, no expectations of really winning. And they was like, should we just make him a 2-guard instead of a point guard? He just couldn't get over that hump. Him going to play in China, where there's no pressure of the NBA, this dude was having a meltdown, eating doggone Vaseline, like he was mentally not suitable. He's lucky to be in the league as long as he was. If he wasn't that talented, but I should have known when I met him, and when he was 17 years old, and he was a high school All-American, and I met him in 1994 on a military base here in Chicago. Felipe Lopez was on his way. They had Jahidi White, Lorenzen Wright. There's a lot of players in that draft. That McDonald's High School All-American, and they were getting their practice in, and getting ready for the games, and they was doing it in Glenview, Illinois. And while we're there, those guys are going through their progressions, and we hoop there every day, and it's supposed to be like off limits for everybody else, just them. We was like, all right, we'll just hoop. Then when they get here, we'll leave. No problem. It was like, oh, okay, no problem. So when they got there, we was like, oh, hey, what's up? Met up with everybody. And they was like, nah, this is it. This is just y'all. Yeah, y'all can stay. We was like, oh, all right. So we just staying. We shooting around, everybody talking. So that was a good time to bond with a lot of people. Stephon Marbury's first words to us, he comes up to me and my boy and was like, you want to see me dunk on that guy right there? He like 7 foot tall. He from like Australia. Watch this. I bet you I could dunk on him. He didn't say, hey, what's up? My name is Stephon. Nothing. Very first words. Want to see me dunk on him? Bet you I could dunk on him. Y'all don't think I could do it, can y'all? Do y'all? Watch, I'm gonna dunk on him. And he came down there, like, it's shoot around. So the guy's trying to just get the rebound. Everybody's still shooting balls up. And he's throwing around. He wants to come down the lane, jump up there, and dunk on the big dude. And the dude was like, what the hell are you doing? And he missed the dunk. He was up that high. He was like, ooh, you see that? Yeah, I bet I almost got him. Like, yeah, I almost got him. So it just shows his psychological process, his thinking patterns. They're way off anything that any normal person would be thinking about in that situation. Stephon has always found a way to make himself the pinnacle of everything, where it's always somebody else doing something. Now, of course, you heard me saying I hit a whole bunch of shots our team won. I did. I mean, I play at that gym every day. I know that rim. This is their first time there. You know, and I'm pulling up for three and nailing threes. And Stephon coming down and he crossing me. Like, getting by me with the cross. Cross. Gone. Like, his speed was incredible. So he got by me every time, but because I was hitting those threes, he had to hit one back. So he was pulling up from almost Steph Curry land, trying to, like, he could have just went straight to the basket. He pulling up from like 40 feet out, shooting, and it almost was in. It was like, and it came out every time. Dang. But it's like, dog, you shooting every time. And then the team was telling him, pass the ball. Pass it. So our team is running. We won. We had Jahidi White. We had another guy on our team. But yeah, we had Lorenzen Wright, I think, and Jahidi White. So we were really rolling off them. I didn't really have to do much. But when I did get a chance to shine, matter of fact, the game got stopped. Because the guy came back was like, whoa, what's going on here? We just having some scrimmages and running around. They were, wait a minute, who are them? All these dudes said, oh, no, they can't do that. No, y'all got to go. Like, no, man, one of these guys hurt you, man. That's insurance, liability. So, as a matter of fact, they stopped the game, but we was winning. Like, it was over. Anyway, so, yeah, they had to stop that. They was like, oh, no, stop this. What y'all doing? We can't have this. So, fun times, man. Fun times. So, y'all have a blessed day. We out. There was no beef between Stephon Marbury and Kevin Garnett when they played. Now, he didn't like him when he left. They might have squashed it since then. I don't know. But I know he did not like that man when they left. And this dude left because of the weather. I'm glad he finally came out and addressed all that, because that was insane.